Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. And yesterday we was on an interesting topic, we believe, and we go right back to it today again. Why did Maurice Bishop evoke the Angola option? Why? Some people feared the Angola option more than the American invasion. And did the evoking of the Angola option expedited the demise of Maurice Bishop? We have a lot of Grenadians that perhaps never heard about the Angola option. But we have a number of people in Grenada that is aware, that knows about the Angola option, and maybe a little hesitant to talk about it. But I believe the time is right. After 1983, a number of Grenadians said, let us reconcile. Let us bury everything. Let us live in peace. The government introduced the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. Some people did not give evidence. Some people did. I think 2 volumes, 1 and 2 was produced. And Grenadians started to work together. People who supported Bishop and against Bishop, intermingling the different political parties, and seems to be functioning together. This present government, under Deacon Mitchell, decided to raise dog in sleep. They try, I don't know if they succeed, to evoke the spirit of Maurice Bishop. I don't think they're genuine. They're doing it because they want to ride on Bishop's popularity. Bishop was a great orator. When he speaks, people fall in love with what he said. Whether he lie or he speak the truth, Bishop was an orator. He addressed a number of topics that aroused great interest in the international community and in the region, Africa, and other countries in the world that heard Maurice Bishop like him. They like what he said. And obviously, the international airport in Grenada, we give it all to Maurice Bishop. And NIS, all to Maurice Bishop. He came up with the idea, he executed. MNIB, all to Bishop. So the present government wants to benefit from the popularity of Maurice Bishop. But they don't want to hear what price Grenadians pay for an international airport. Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Hiwanora, and Fiji, all these small countries had international airport. But the people didn't pay the price Grenada paid. Our airport was the most expensive in the region because of the price we paid. And you cannot be speaking about Maurice Bishop without speaking about the price Grenadians paid. Maurice Bishop evoked the Angola option. And that was the ultimate reason for his demise. Yes, they had problem with joint leadership. Joint leadership was proposed, from my understanding, because the economy was not doing well. The revolution was getting unpopular. And people started to blame one another. Some of the party work was not being done. Maurice Bishop was accused of being a petty bourgeois, a womanizer, and lazy where the party work is concerned. So the Central Committee proposed joint leadership. Maurice Bishop agreed with joint leadership in principle, but he had difficulties with the workability. But when the day come to vote on a fundamental issue like that, Maurice Bishop abstained the vote. 3 persons voted against. I don't know if 9 or 11 voted for. So overwhelmingly, the joint leadership issue was voted for. But by that time, Maurice Bishop evoked the Angola option. And that brought tremendous fear and panic among those who were supporting joint leadership. Remember, Maurice Bishop abstained. How could a leader abstain on a fundamental issue like that? Then they found out Maurice Bishop lied to the Central Committee. And he lied to the Politburo. And when he was cornered, he crumbled. When he was cornered, he crumbled. Maurice Bishop had a history of telling lies. He lied to the Rastas in the Holy Comforter. He locked up the man with the Red Rover. He deceived the Rastas. It's difficult. It's very difficult to understand why Maurice Bishop turned against the Rastas like that. They knew what Bustamante did in Jamaica, but they never expected Maurice Bishop to treat them like that. So the Rastas decided to leave Babylon and make for the jungle. Go back in the woods. They decide to leave Babylon. And they went up in the woods. Why did Bishop felt it necessary to go in the woods and collect the Rastas? Rastas was living in the woods in Gary days. They come down in Babylon because they thought Maurice Bishop was a new visionary. Because they thought he would legalize weed and he would open a door for Rastamen. When they realized they was deceived, they decided to make for the woods. So Rasta take the drum, tum boom, Babylon, fire, burn, tum boom, and they gone up in the jungle. Grenada fires. And Maurice Bishop sent the militia and the PRA, and they brought over 300 of them down. Culture man, by now you're supposed to make up your mind to tell me how Mackenzie died. Based upon the information, every time the PRA and militia come in, Rastaman running. And it was said they fire gun and Mackenzie got shot. But they did not get him. He continued to run. A Rasta say, I see him running with blood on him. So Culture Man, you challenged me yesterday. So call me back today and tell me what happened to Mackenzie. He was a brother in the community. He was in the Holy Comforter when Maurice Bishop said you could plant weed. Let's talk. A lot of our Grenadian communists is in America, Canada, and England. A lot of them today know about the Angola option. And the time has come in history when we must speak about the Angola option. A number of people ask, why is it they kill Maurice Bishop? Why? Why is it they shot Jacqueline Kreff? Why is it they shot Fitzroy Bain? And all the other people that was shot? And I asked the question, Maurice Bishop knew war was at hand. Why he kept Jacqueline Kreff pregnant and the other women cloaking him? That is why I say he was a coward. Throughout history, no hero hide behind women and children. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
Yes, sir. Maurice Bishop would have been a big fool to ask or to accept joint leadership. No country would just have two persons as prime minister. So Maurice Bishop made this mistake for himself.
He said he agreed with it in principle.
Well, in principle,
but he don't understand the workability.
So then how he expect how he could.
But when the vote came, Mr. Bridgman, what he should have done was to vote against. But he abstained.
Well, he gets stupid after.
Well, he was never a good manager, and it's difficult for people to understand that he was just an orator. Like Wayward and Paliwali, like Kakadimo Grant, like Macklin Pope. They were orators.
Two milk cans in one hole. And I mean, you know, the people mash up the revolution for themselves, you know.
Well, Bishop wasn't a male crab. Bishop was a domestic crab with a good voice.
You know, I believe that the fellas kill the revolution for themselves.
Well, yes, because you ever hear about the Angola option?
No.
You never hear about that?
No.
Well, Maurice Bishop died because he evoked the Angola option. And those who know about it, we encouraging the journalists in Grenada, go and seek and find out what is the Angola option.
Now, I believe that Maurice Bishop was a beloved person in Grenada. He was a lot of Grenadians like him. But he made a mistake for himself.
Is it mistake to like the Rasta?
No. Well, he when he lied to the Rastas, he thought that was a good way of getting them on his side. But I mean, to know the things that happen, you know.
And when he say he have basin of blood and album, he lied to.
Well, the present Prime Minister, we have no lying to the people too.
Well, if he revoke Maurice Bishop's spirit, you don't expect him to lie.
It's not something new. I hope.
2:00 in the morning, the Minister of Health making an official visit to the hospital. You know. The nurse got afraid. You know.
No, well,
the senior nurse said you should have sent him in the pathological annex. Perhaps he's looking for Maurice Bishop's spirit.
He want to make sure he walks, so he don't want to sleep and things go bad. So
Maurice Bishop's spirit hunting him. 2:00 in the morning.
No, but I declared already that I didn't like the revolution. I like certain things that came from the revolution. But I think Maurice Bishop was stupid to agree for joint leadership.
Well, he didn't agree, he abstained.
Well, he argued in principle.
Well, he did not vote for it.
Well,
how could you be a leader and on a fundamental issue you fail to lead, you get caught?
No, the ex-prime minister had a press conference.
I did not hear the press conference because I was on the run.
But I think he did well, very well. But I'm wondering, I find our journalists seems to be ducking around now.
They don't have questions to ask.
Yeah, our journalists seems to gone in shell.
Did they take questions from the public?
Well, it just seems so.
Right, so you know we have...
Just what they read or whatever.
We may have some journalists in Grenada.
It's time for our journalists to do better than that. I'm disappointed with journalism.
Well, I think we might have to turn journalists, Mr. Bridgman.
Well, it looks so.
Right.
Because, I mean, too often we're not seeing the impact of the journalists.
Okay.
There's too much food for thought. And if they play a role, if they have to play a role, question the man. Let's get words from his mouth. And he was prepared to take questions. So I think that's a form of weakness. letting us know. We're not getting to know the Prime Minister.
Well, if you want to know, it's Real FM that you have to get all the information from.
Well, yes, because the Prime Minister say that he's going to give you information when he's to know.
He say when he wants.
Yeah, when he wants, right? And I see he officially put, well, we could say what do you call him, the deputy now, Mr. Andy, because every time he going now, he appointed Mr. Andy, so we could say...
The birds of a feather flock together.
And the journalists and him don't even questioning that. Anyhow.
Yeah, thank you.
Poor journalism.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so that's the reality. So the number to call is 4420-175. And Culture, you could pick up the telephone and give me a call. Tell me if you find out the questions I asked you yesterday. Because you must know what happened to Mackenzie. If you knew that he was not shot by PRA and militia, then tell us what happened to him. Because I don't think they ever get his body. So Culture, give us a call and let us know. Now, those information is important because the fact that the government decide to start the celebration of 50 years on the date. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you?
Great, man. Good, man.
Mr. Pierre, yesterday the thunder cut us off. So.
Yes, man. The thunder crack and move out.
Yes.
Yeah, good to
so
hear.
I called to tell you, your partner from Ford, he said the Americans killed 35 Grenadians on the 25th of October. So October 19th is the best day to celebrate. Ask him how much people they kill on the 19th of October. That's what I want to know. They could celebrate.
My partner not from Ford. Eh? He's not
right?
from Ford. He's not from Ford.
He's not from Ford?
No, not from Ford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he is adamant that he would not celebrate October.
25th.
Yeah.
25th.
I would like to hear his contribution on the fact that Maurice Bishop evoked the Angola option. A lot of the students of Marxist Leninists and socialism, they knew about the Angola option.
Exactly.
And they knew what it meant for Grenada. You know?
Also jumping up about October 19th and celebrating. They don't have a clue, they just want to celebrate with NDC, because NDC that changed the name from Pine Sardine to Maurice Bishop. So they just want to put Maurice Bishop on a pedestal. But to hell with all of them.
But I think they want to...
They don't have a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
The bulk of them here calling and making statements. Them fly away after October 19th, And in America they live in. Let them come, we bury them in the sea. But that's where they go and live in.
Yeah, they go to America. All the Grenadian communists.
All of them.
It's only a few of us that are in Grenada. All the comrades.
Yes.
Gone in
Let them
Canada,
come, we bury them in the sea.
America, England. None of them in Cuba.
No, they call in. Because they want to come back home. But half of them turn bomb.
Well, the government is trying their best. You see, they're trying to make the low-income houses
it's for them.
attractive
for
them.
It is for them.
It's not
Take
for the
my word
locals.
for it. It is for them.
Yeah, they want to sneak it out. Sneak it out from the locals.
Yes.
And give their supporters in the diaspora.
Yes, that is why you see, I don't want to hear nothing about them in diaspora. Diaspora, my foot.
Well, the diaspora is important because it's our people that is there.
Listen, it's our people, but listen, tell me what half of them does for the country. None of them.
No, I think...
Half of them, listen, man, Mr. Pierre, I have a lot of things that call me up. Like, how things going on there? Oh, God, long time they don't come. When they come, they lose enough. They lose. They know where they is. And Deacon, Since the revolution, nothing has been done.
Yeah, I think Deacon just lie.
Deacon is a
Just
criminal,
lie,
man.
no better, he lie.
He's a criminal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, scholar.
Yeah.
Yes, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora is very important for our country because we have a very small population. And even during the COVID-19, Grenada remuneration from Grenada increased, while in most of the other countries, remuneration decreased. So the people in the diaspora is very important for our country. And they always provide help for the people. Because even if during the COVID-19, when remuneration decreased in other countries, it increased in Grenada. And they have a right to participate in the politics, whichever party or direction they want to support. I think sometimes they don't get enough information from the ground in helping them to make decisions. And that is what we try to do here. We try to provoke information, provoke discussion, and provide information. And that is why we are asking, there's a lot of people who know about the Angola option. Why Maurice Bishop initiated the Angola option. And Maurice Bishop was dealing with very talented and educated people where Marxist Leninism and socialism is concerned. So the individuals knew. They knew what would happen once the Angola option take place in Grenada. And I think that expedited the demise of Maurice Bishop. You don't need a coward leader in a country. You don't need a leader that wants to ride on other people's popularity. You don't need a leader that is a pathological liar. You don't need a leader that is a coward. Imagine somebody invade your home, and while your wife grab a cutlass and children grab cup to fight, daddy gone under the bed. Maurice Bishop was a coward. He hid behind women and children. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good evening, Mr.
Yes.
Asking you a question, I don't know.
Go right ahead.
Do you think with the decision that the government making presently concerning the low-income houses that the Chinese donated to Grenada for the less fortunate to have somewhere to call their own? Now they have it for sale. Anyone who is qualified in their realm, in their way of thinking, analyzing, they have to pay for the houses, saying that the Chinese gave it free. Free labor, free money, material. Do you think that they, seeing that they break that agreement, that the Chinese could ask them to repay them for the houses, seeing that they put it up for sale when it was not for sale? It was to be given to those who, low-income people, right? Even though they had to pay something for it, but very little, not as what this government now has put it up for.
Well,
And I'm glad when I heard the Prime Minister today ask that those who have gotten letters that for they qualified for the houses and that it was taken back to them and whatever, they should take the government, this present government, to court. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Because that is unfair. Thank you.
yes, scholar. First of all, don't expect any reaction from the Chinese. The Chinese invented diplomacy. They don't care about your religion. They don't care about your politics. They don't care about the treatment of your people. They don't care if you're killing your people. The Chinese only care about their objective. And Grenadians must understand that. The Chinese will deal with the government. They don't care about the government that lose election. They will deal with the government that be. And the Chinese only care about their objective. That is why in countries that have high human rights record, where the media is not free, there is no conflict with the Chinese. The Chinese don't care about your wedding. The Chinese don't care about your carnival. They don't care about your festival. The Chinese only care about their objectives. Since the Chinese in Grenada, you ever hear any one of you ever go to a Chinese funeral? You don't even know when Chinese dead. The Chinese invented diplomacy. When they come to your country, they have 1,000 years plan. And they have patience. You have to understand what the National Democratic Congress did with the housing doesn't surprise me. Historically, the NDC is always hostile towards people in the lower income group. They're not very sensitive to the cries of the ordinary man. No, that is a group that come in and remove $150 from the elderly and the physically challenged. Even disadvantaged children was not spared the wrath of NDC. NDC promised the elderly $650. They quote the World Bank for emphasis. They chastised the previous government. And instead of giving the people the $650, is a group of people that lack scruple. They remove $150. It is not the first time NDC do that. In 2008, 2013, NDC removed $10 from road workers' pay. NDC always trying to take out money from people. During that period of time, yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. Caller,
Hello.
punch.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, my brother, go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
The previous caller who made mention of how the housing authority is dealing with the people concerning the houses and the government of China donation. My concern about this is where the letter was given to the potential owners and asked to go to a financial institution to secure a loan. Now, if these houses were donated to low-income people, we are talking about people who could be earning maybe $1,000 a month or less. Now, when you are earning $1,000 or less in a month, and you go to a bank to secure a loan for a house value of $40,000 or $73,000, it depends on if it's a one or double unit that you want. Do you believe that those people will be able to secure a loan? That will be very, very difficult. Because when you go there, the bank will want to know what is your personal financial, your
Economic
financial
status,
debt
yeah.
for
Collateral,
the,
yeah.
right, for the month. Do you have bills to pay, like telephone bills,
Telephone, electricity,
light
utility,
bill, water,
entertainment.
rent, short, and everything else? And it is only after you have let them know how much of that $1,000 is spent.
See what remain.
You will be able to secure they are judging you now by the remainder of your expenditure. And if you have $400, what amount of loan do you believe that you will be able to get? So it is more than likely that most of those people, they will not get a loan and they will not get that unit which they was promised and in some cases given keys. Many of them will not be able to go into those units. They will be given to other people who have better paid jobs, and one could easily assume that those people will be supporters of the present government. He mentioned that maybe the government could think about building smaller units still for those people. And he's talking about some years to come. So it means that those people, many of them might die because not being able now to go into that unit which once upon a time they had keys and was only waiting to enter. Now they can no longer go there. Many of them would have lost their job. What do you think will happen to these people? What a sad case. I hope the government looks into that and make some arrangement or different thing towards this letter going to the financial. And here, he said that they had agreement with the financial institution and that the interest will be either 3 or 5%. Well, 3 or 5%, most cases it could be a compound interest. You're talking about something like 20-something or $30,000 interest, maybe over a 10-year period. So you're talking about paying over $70,000 for that house if you are able to secure that loan from the bank. I very much doubt, as I said, that many of them will not get that unit. Thank you.
I've always said to my friends in the rum shop, if your income is under $3,000 a month, you should not support the National Democratic Congress. If your income is under $3,000 a month, you should not support the NDC. The NDC have always been hostile to people in the lower income group. In 1990, I believe, that period, 1990-1995, the NDC fired the workers in government estate. They said the economy not doing good. They had to take necessary measures. The first group of workers they went after is the workers in the government estate and the propagator. And when people in the private sector realize how easy the government fire these workers, they fire some others too. The National Democratic Congress have a history of being very insensitive, of being disadvantageous to people in the lower income group. Look at how NDC people refer to ordinary people, nasty people, needy and greedy, classless. Now, how could a political party be comfortable with their spokespeople using language like that to Grenadians? You heard from the very minister mouth, good people. The NDC, when they're in power, they fracture the country the most. The Minister of Labor was laughing when she realized the workers in school would not get paid. You saw the Prime Minister joking around with the faith workers. What they do? Wiping hand? What they do? Sanitizing table? The NDC is always dismissive and use the most despicable language when they referring to people in the lower income group. I see 9 of them as vultures, and I look upon them with contempt. And what saddens my heart the most, the majority of them is bamboo children from the bamboo jazz era. They got an opportunity to go to school because their parents fought hard. They suck salt and they pound goo for the children to go to school. And they have a better education. And then they turn on the parents. That is why I don't care about reparation, you know. Because our black leaders sold us in slavery. We always want to blame the white man for buying. And we don't want to blame the black man for selling us. These 9 vultures, I would not surprise if all of them are poor people children. But what separates them from us? They believe the education put them in a special class. So as soon as they come in power, they say they don't working for that. They take 2,000 more. They find it difficult to raise the pay now, so they're using a underhand method, flying all over the world. And by so doing, they hope to enrich themselves. Taking loan from government coffers. And even when they're traveling, they bring in a spouse with them. When you have a government have 12 advisors for 1 minute, they say advisory lead. They use new words. Advisory lead. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yes, speaking a little bit about the PRA time.
Yes, my brother, good.
Well, I was on the main road one day, when they now take over, and I noticed a truck coming up, big truck.
Your voice get low.
Hello?
Yep. I say your voice was a little low.
When I turn back, you hear me?
Yeah.
When I turn back, and I see man on that big truck and guns. How different brand are gun there on the truck. And when he reached close to me, I had a good friend of mine. When he called me, and he said, come up on the truck, he a gun for you. And watch where you think he is? Right on the gas tank below. You know this big truck and how the gas tank is?
Yeah.
The man lie down right there and he had gun pointing the side of the road. Right? It's a lot of different things I meet up with the what make me almost panic with that time. But you know what was nice? The PRA milk. When we drink the PRA milk, I don't know if it's the best milk in the world to drink, but when we drink it, it used to make us pass wind above as below. So, it's a lot. When the Yankee come again, they put the gun on me because I come out in bush coming and the area coming, they was on that side. The man have that big gun on me with the magnifying glass on facing me. I say, well, I'm just make up my mind and I say, well, it don't make sense running back. I had to face him. I coming up. And as long as I coming up, he start to drop the mouth of the gun down and down and down. And when I reach right up to them, I say, good morning. And all of them white man, good morning. And then I pass and I go. So, have a good afternoon. Let me leave you now.
Yes, my brother.
All right.
And the PRA milk, all in the 60s, we used to have this milk, you know. But when the revolution come, they renamed the milk. They say there is PRA milk. And nobody can challenge them. So you see now, even the ministers of government will believe that it's PRA that bring the milk. You see, they used to plan lies. And they realize, let me change the name of the milk. Because if you challenge them, you might end up in jail. Bishop say, if you say they, he locking up thee. You say, comrade, You want to turn back the revolution. That was some of the language used then. So you can give us a call. Number to call is 442-0175. Facts is important. We must seek the truth. We must not be afraid to speak about the truth where the experiment with the revolution is concerned. Yes, scholar.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, man.
That milk was there since in Gary time. I used to drive it and bring it to different schools and homes, like for the old people and them kind of thing. That milk was there Miss Benjamin in Grenville. She was in charge of that. She was in charge of that place, where we deliver in the milk and the food stuff, the cornmeal and the oil and things for these people. That is where the milk come from, since in the days of Miss Benjamin.
And they used to give some biscuit too.
Yes, I was the driver.
And barley and rice.
I used to drive. I was the driver for them. Anyhow, have a good day. So
Yes, when the revolution called, they changed the name. They said I PRA milk. So everybody started to say PRA milk. They think it's the revolution that bring the milk. But that milk was there long before. Used to come since in the 60s. The revolution renamed it. And the threat of going to jail and the inflammatory nature of the gun was enough. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Something I've noticed today. In the
You have to speak about it more.
the Prime Minister press meeting, only 2 journalists that were there to ask questions. What happened to the other journalists? The big mouth always have something to say. None of them, those prominent ones, more popular ones, I should say, was not there to ask a question that they have nothing to say, nothing to ask.
That is with the opposition leader press conference.
They all gone silent.
Yeah. Well, it could be that a lot of the journalists lost interest. It could well be that the journalists lost interest. Or it could well be that the journalists are really extensions of the political party. They are extensions of the political party.
I would have really liked to hear some of them, what is their comment and what the questions they have, because everyone has questions to ask.
Sometimes you have to ask those questions on the talk shows, like what we have now, and we will take them and continue to make them public.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's important for us to seek the truth. We cannot be criticizing the imperialists and the Europeans for telling us lies, and then we ourselves don't want to face the truth. When you speak about Eric Gary, people will tell you about Mongoose Gang, the Tonton Makuts, and etc. Nothing's wrong with that. There were negatives in Gary period. So speak about it. When you speak about the revolution, now some people want you to hush them out. 3,000 Grenadians was in jail without charge, without trial, and never get an opportunity to defend themselves. And 3,000 to 4,000 flee the country. So in a short space of time, over 7,000 people was out of the labor market. And that is why bishops say unemployment dropped. Because he jailed 3,000 and about 4,000 had to run for their life. So he claimed unemployment in the country dropped as soon as they reached in power. But there was a lot of excesses in the revolution. Murders that was not investigated. Castration of people. Very bad treatment. But the Rastafarians and some journalists should really ask some of those Rastas that was in Hopeville about their experience. the Rastafarians were really badly treated. The people from Mount Rich was singled out for persecution. And Tivoli and the surrounding areas suffered immensely under Maurice Bishop. And Maurice Bishop told a lot of lies to our country. And we must not run away from that. Yes, he was an orator that built the airport. But we always have to ask ourselves, did the end justify the means? The price we paid, was it necessary? And even in the ending, Maurice Bishop had women and children with him for hours on the foot, while he strengthened his machinery to fight against the others. And why would a leader leave women and children in that area? Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome. But it appears we lost this scholar. Scholar, try again. The question must be asked, why did Maurice Bishop leave women and children? Well, how much love he had for Jacqueline Craft, knowing she was pregnant, knowing that both sides had to clash. Did he expect these women to take the gun? Then why didn't he send them out to safety? The chances of survival would have been greater. Gemma Belmont. Bishop knew that Bishop and them send and re-establish communication with the rest of the world. They said they want 200 people to do that. By the time they come back, they agitated. Those students empowered. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. If you find room to have an advisor to an attorney general of a country, how hard it is to find advisors for every other area in this, every other ministry in this country?
Well, the attorney general.
Well, that's the most affordable thing you could find, I think.
Yeah.
But in the case of Bishop jailing all these people, the very guys who went around the country and took over the country, from Grenville Police Station, Hermitage, Sotes, Samaritan, Victoria, Guave, Grand Royal Police Station, and right down, they go and take over the fort. These are the very same guys who ended up in jail. Kennedy and Jay and Buck and all them guys, and these are the guys who take over the country the day on March 13. When I say literally take it over. Then other guys went and took over the barracks in True Blue, and they took over the radio station. That was it. Had the rest of the policemen stood up, and for some reason, and they mean to make a fight, it would have been a bloody scene. Who would have won? I don't know. But the Bishop jailed the very fellas who came into power, pure and simple. But Mr. Pierre, I hold my mouth for the past 2 weeks. I've been hearing guys on that station talking about the plans that they think that the government have to sell the houses to people, and I was waiting.
You couldn't believe?
I couldn't believe it. So I said, let me wait. And then I'm going to comment. Yesterday, only to hear excerpts from the press conference that confirms exactly that this is the most crazy thing you could find happening in a country like that. When the Chinese give free houses to the people, to the extent that this was done, if somebody doesn't have the money to buy a house, that's what they expect the government to do, give the person a house. For those who cannot afford, now you have to be able to afford it to do it, Not just to go and get to get the money in the bank, you have to have certain securities. On top of that, you have to get an insurance for the house. You have to get an insurance maybe for yourself too. Excuse me. I'm on a regular call now. I'm not on WhatsApp because I try getting on WhatsApp and I'm not getting through.
Okay.
He just
All right.
so I don't know what is going on with your WhatsApp. But I'll deal with it more extensively in due time. Take care, sir.
Okay, my brother. Okay. Yes, the government, all the governments of the Caribbean have a financial obligation to people in the lower income group. They go in the United Nations and they agree for pie bone water for all by the year, I don't know, can't remember which year. I've got to research it. They agree about housing and shelter. But the National Democratic Congress are vultures. They always prey on the weak. I've been studying this political party for a long while. They are vultures. And then they do something like big project where they could make a money from. They cut down Belvedere nutmeg and plant banana. That was a shocker to all extension officers. I know of no extension officer, no expert in agriculture who agreed with them. And everybody asking why do that? But that is the NDC. I don't even believe Culture Man would agree with NDC. I show it in a culture, call me and tell me if they agree. For them to cut down Belvedere nutmeg and plant banana. You and I must agree on something. I don't believe they agree on this one. You hear the NDC talking about teaching hospital. They have no intention of improving the health system. You know. They want a big project where they could make some money from. That's why I always say to people, research Mr. 10%. You might end up in Pakistan, Trinidad, but don't surprise if you end up in Grenada. They want a big project so they could make some money from. The National Democratic Congress is never about development of everybody in the country. A good government must take into consideration the development of everybody, particularly the people in the lower income group. But for years, the NDC has been very dismissive. The language is very despicable, very degrading when they refer to people in the lower income group. I know not why. But we will continue to see if we could provoke discussion on the Angola option, particularly because the government do not want us to speak about Grenada before 79. They see 79 to 83 as the only development period in Grenada. They said nothing happened after 1983. So they want to put emphasis on this period of time so they could make the hero. And when Monkey writes his story, Monkey always writes. So if Deacon want to make a new hero in Grenada, nothing is wrong with that. But we must not hide away from the truth. We must not walk away from the truth. We must seek the truth. We have so much people in Grenada who claim they're historian. It is in your interest to find out about the Angola option. You cannot start the process of independence celebration on the bloodiest day in our history, post-capitalism and slavery, and you refuse and you decide to ignore the Angola option. So I believe we must have a discussion on that. There is a lot of people in Grenada that is well informed And they knew that was the main reason the demise of Maurice Bishop was so brutal. Jacqueline Kreff and the other people that was executed. I don't think they bothered to give up bodies. They didn't bother to give nobody bodies. The main players, they did not even want the public to get a body. And that is the period of time in our history we must know about. Deacon claim he don't want sleeping dogs lie. So he decided to provoke Maurice Bishop's spirit so he could plagiarize Maurice Bishop's popularity. So I think it's important that we spend some time seeking the truth. And Cultureman, next time you must call me. Call me and tell me if you agree when the National Democratic Congress cut down Belvedere nutmeg. You have to tell me about Mackenzie's death. And perhaps you could tell me if you agree with the new hospital or if you would prefer doctors and dentists and psychologists in the health centers where it is available to people. You see, this country belongs to us. And there is a saying, you deserve, not you, we deserve the government we have. So it's very important for us to seek the truth. We're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to seek the truth. Thank you very much.